I was thinking about it, but I said, you know, we're doing our fellowshipping, and then when I started talking about Karen, I completely forgot.
Yeah. It's easy to do.
For me, it certainly is. Okay, so it's noon, and from noon until about 5 after, we fellowship um, electronically, which isn't much fun, but let's do it anyway. Hi, Tom.
Hello.
Hey,
How you
Tom.
doing? What's going
Tom,
on?
I'm gonna put you on mute
Why?
because you got background noise there. I think Juanita's talking to somebody.
Yeah, Juanita. Hey, y'all be quiet in there.
See how that works.
Well, we took care of that. All right. This is fasten your seat belts because Diane isn't here today and I'm driving. So it's going to be a bumpy road. If I miss a slide or two, you'll understand. But I only have, and who's counting, about 7 more meetings. Tom, why are you trying to share your screen? You're screwing me up from the jump. Stop your I'm just gonna see if I can kill that. Do you all see that?
Yeah.
Tom, stop your screen share, or I'll stop it for you. What I'm going to do is I'm going to stop. That did it. Then I'll bring it back on again. I hope he doesn't come back. Oh, I don't have to screen share because I'm in charge. I'm the host. Okay. Well, let me get my bell and my hammer. Karen's going, what is he doing? What is he doing?
No.
Big secret. He doesn't know what he's doing.
You're there. Oh, the secret is out. All right. Rotary model.
Service above self.
Please stand, put your hand over your heart, and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance to the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Now, if you would join me in a moment's silence. Well, all right. It looks like we have a smaller audience today, but we're going to have a great meeting. The sun is shining and everybody should be happy. If you're not happy, I want to hear about it and we're going to make you happy.
Tammy Hopkins. You know her? Tammy Hopkins.
Tammy is there. Yeah, there's Tammy. And we might as well start with Tammy. The board just had its meeting at 11 o'clock. And one of the items was to review Tammy's application. It took us about 30 nanoseconds to approve Tammy's application to join Rotary. Most of you have been on the meetings that I think all of you where Tammy has joined us. And even before becoming a Rotarian, Tammy volunteered to head up the public library basket contest. So, I mean, she is super. We have the protocol, Tammy, is there's a week where the club, now that they know you and you've been formally introduced to the club, they have a week to decide whether or not we love you so much or not. And I guarantee you, next week we will tell you we love you so much and you will be a Rotarian. So welcome to Rotary. I think I'm excited by the
Great.
energy you bring in the room. So maybe you want to say a couple of things.
Well, my whole life I've dedicated, even though my professional life, I've always given back to the community in which I've lived. And I've always, taken on leadership roles or organization as far as if something needed to be done. And I've done events for, uh, the vets, Equa Kids in Virginia Beach, Women's Shelter, just numerous, or, charities and things that where people were in need. And I really believe in giving back to others. That's just part of my, my being. I
Part of
love
your
to.
DNA. Well, Tammy, welcome aboard. I'm excited about your joining our club. I'm glad you joined our club as opposed to the Exmoor or the old Nancock club. We think we're the best. In fact, I know we are. And as we look forward, I think, we had a period there where we worried about who's going to be our next president, who's going to be presidents down the road. I think we are good for a few years with our current membership. So delighted again, Tammy, and enjoy Rotary. Staying on and that's a great way to start the meeting. We'll do what has become, I guess, sick call. And Stanley says he's still on sick call. He's laying around saying, "Oh, my leg hurts." But you're recovering, aren't you, Stanley?
Yes, I'm recovering slowly.
Okay.
I'm a little bit better than yesterday, and hopefully I'll be better tomorrow.
Well, you stay on that track.
Okay.
Randy reported that Dawn is doing much better, but let's hear it from Randy.
Yes, she is. She's doing well. Looks like the infection is under control, if not completely gone. We saw her doctor this morning, and now it's just she still has the sciatica, so she and Stanley can get together and practice their stretches and their exercises and whatever. But that's going to take a while longer, I think, before it's gone. But she's doing well. Thank you.
And report to Dawn that we got her card. It's a beautiful card, and she expressed thank you for the flowers the club sent her during her recovery. Now, Stanley didn't get flowers, and maybe I was mean to Stanley, but I've decided that on my watch, in order to get flowers, you have to have the knife. So let's hope nobody ever gets flowers from Rotary ever. But I think whenever you have surgery, that's pretty serious, and you deserve flowers for that. Let's hope none of us have to have surgery. John Burtis isn't with us today because he's at the doctor's. John has been coughing since March. And he's kind of always declaring himself better, but he's not really. So he's back at the doctor's this morning, and hopefully, he hasn't really slowed down, and that might be the problem. But if you see John, tell him to slow down. And if you don't see him, just say a prayer for him, because we really have to have John around. Now, I regret announcing that Bruce Gettinger has resigned from our club. Bruce has been a Rotarian for about 2 years, tremendous trumpet player. But I think what happened, and I've tried to reach him, is Zoom was never his thing. And when you go over a year without getting together, maybe you just decide, maybe I can do something else. So if you see Bruce, tell him we love him, and he will always, once a Rotarian, always a Rotarian. And you're always welcome back, and you're certainly welcome to join any of our meetings, especially when we get back to meeting on a regular basis again in person. Which leads to the next discussion item we had at our board meeting today, and that is, when do we get together again, face to face? And we have decided, your board has decided, and if you don't like it, too bad, because we have decided on August 17th, write that down, at 6 o'clock, we're returning to Central Park at the, what do you call that thing? Gazebo.
Gazebo.
At the gazebo. Thank you, Chuck. And we'll have our box lunches, and we'll just enjoy seeing one another on our lawn chairs in what Reggie said will be very hot sun, but that's okay. Bring your umbrella. And we'll ask the coffee house to provide box lunches as we did before. And the good news is Chuck will be presiding.
Good for you.
But it's just going to be a Rotary party. We have a number of Paul Harris Fellows that we need to recognize, and a few other things we'll do. But mostly we'll just get together and break bread together and have a lemonade, and hopefully the police don't throw us out of the park. We weren't too rowdy last time. Some people came in there. There she is. Hi, Tina.
Hi,
How you doing?
I'm good. How are y'all?
Great.
Good.
We just announced that we're going to meet in Central Park on August 17th. So
I think that's when I'll be at JMU taking Olivia, but I'll check my calendar.
oh God, it's the third Tuesday. It's an assembly day, so we wouldn't have business anyway. It's just a kind of fun and chat kind of meeting.
It'll be an
Okay.
early evening.
Early 6 o'clock.
Okay.
Okay. Now further to that, the real question is, when do we go back to the coffee house? And yes, Joan, you have something to say.
No, it's more of a question. Will this meeting in Central Park take place for the noon Rotary meeting?
Yes, we won't
So
meet at noon. We'll meet at
6
6.
o'clock in Central
Yeah.
Park.
And
Thank
that's kind of consistent with before you joined our Rotary Club, Joan. On the last Tuesday of every month, we had a social meeting, and that was at 5 o'clock. Where we had the only difference was we had grown-up drinks at 5 o'clock, and the meeting was a little rowdier, but it was a lot of fun, and if we got business done, good. If we didn't care. Now,
Thank you.
Now, consistent with that is going back for our regular coffee house meeting. We're going to discuss it with our full membership next week at our assembly, but we'd like to start right after Labor Day. And the only caveat is you have to have your shots in order to join the meeting. If you don't have your shots, maybe you just wear a mask. But the Dr. Paul says that it's probably okay. So if Paul says it's okay with me, but that's the trajectory we're on. And hopefully we're back to regular meetings and the country is back to a more normal approach to life in September.
Bill, could I add?
Yeah,
to
yeah,
that?
any comment is welcome, Chuck.
If we somehow hit a miracle over the summer and cases continue to drop, and before that date, before Labor Day weekend, nationally it's declared we have herd immunity, then the whole thing with mask and everything could change at that point, and we're completely back to normal. So keep your fingers crossed during the summer. We actually hear that declaration, we have herd immunity, and encourage everyone to get their shots, and that's going to get us closer to that time frame. And Paul, you may have some additional stuff to add to that.
Well, everything is looking better and better. The locations that I kind of monitor, I send out a weekly report to people that want it. Every place dropped further this past week. There were 4 new cases in Northampton County this past week, and 2 of those were in Cape Charles, which is but the main thing is Virginia as a whole, and Virginia Beach and all, they've continued to drop more and more. We're now at levels that are as low as they were last July, which was still well below the summer high. So things have really improved. And it is very important, as Chuck said, that if you haven't gotten your shots, please get them. It's not just to help yourself, it's to help your community, because the more people that get immunized, the closer we will be to herd immunity, which means virtually we can return to normal.
And Paul, was that your report on COVID?
Yeah.
Okay. So thank you for that. And let's keep our fingers crossed, but we will be back soon, hopefully. Randy, do you have a few words of status on the raffle, golf cart raffle?
Sure, the raffle is going well. We're shooting for the end of May to have all the tickets sold by the club members and the proceeds collected by the 3 gentlemen who did the distribution. Joan, the PR is working well. Rayfields called me for their second batch of tickets. They went through the first batch in less than a week.
Wow.
That's really good. And I think things are going well. We're, as you probably know, we're going to have our dog and pony show at the Cherrystone Campground on the 29th of May, which is Memorial Day weekend. By show of hands, anyone who is volunteering to be available to do that, I'm okay. Mehdi and Bill and Chuck, I already wrote you down. So
29th.
We're good. It's the 29th, and I think we'll be there from 10 in the morning to maybe 3 in the afternoon. We'll have the cart there, I think. I mean, that's the plan. And I have to pick it up. I have to get Wayne's trailer, and I'll pick it up from Bill, and we'll be there. So we're in good shape. Keep selling. We've got a couple of 100 tickets left, not counting what we might get back. I hope we don't get much back from the members. So we will have that event. I don't know whether it's going to be smart to try to do the same thing down at Sunset Beach or not, because we do have a chance to have a table up on the 4th of July in Cape Charles, which might be a more bang for the buck. So we'll see how that works out after the 29th.
Joan has a question.
Yes, ma'am.
I do have a question. Has anyone thought about trying to sell at Pearl Market on Saturday morning from 9 to noon outside?
No, but it's a good idea.
I'd be happy to volunteer to do that.
Are they open to that down there? You're talking about the market, is that the market all the way down
Yes,
south? Yeah,
yes, on the east side of 13.
okay.
Something exciting road.
Would you mind looking into that? Do you know the people that organize that?
I believe I know at least one of them, and I can find out.
Okay.
The right one. Now,
Well,
would you
Everyone
want,
else-
Joan, would you need the card or would you just use a table?
I would think the cart would be more impressive, but if that's an onerous project, that's okay. The table would do.
Okay, well,
Joan, I'd join you with or without a card.
Okay,
Okay, and if you'll check in, Joan, get back to me, and then I'll touch base with Wayne to see if his trailer is available. Just let me know the date. And
okay.
I don't see why I won't be there myself, so sounds good.
And Jackie's volunteering as well.
Thank you.
Jackie and Joan are like two bandits. So thank you,
Jackie
Randy.
more of a bandit than I am.
That must be a compliment.
That is, I mean, you're like Ace Coon Poons. You're good buddies. Oh,
Hey, Bill, can you hear me?
Yeah, go ahead.
Bill,
Yes.
which farmers market are you talking about?
It's going down to the bridge on the left side on Saturday morning. That's the only time they're open. And you'll see a
that's
few.
Going south.
Yeah, going south.
Oh, okay. Okay, thanks a lot.
Okay, Walter's been waiting patiently.
Let me just interject. It is at 4198 Latimer Siding Road. When you're heading north on 13 from the Bay Bridge Tunnel, you take a right and it's the building immediately on your right.
Okay,
you.
thanks a lot.
Uh-huh.
All right. Where's Randy? Not Randy. Where is Wayne? Not Walter. Walter. Where's Walter?
There, yeah.
Is he there somewhere?
He's on the screen.
Where? Oh, there you are, Walter. Hey, Walter, I'm sorry if we held you up in the waiting room too long.
Yeah.
Okay, Walter doesn't, he's not offended. All right, moving on, because I'm just gonna stop with the announcements. Enough with the announcements. If you are concerned about anything, call me, and if it's really important, I'll send out an email. But everything is well in Rotary land, especially Cape Charles Rotary land. I will ask you to please call your buddies and invite your neighbors to join our meeting. And, you know, and if they're not careful, they'll join. Tammy's an example. She showed up once, and next thing she knew, she was a member. So with that, I will come over here and do this, and then do this, and then do this. And what time is it, friends? It is Happy Dollars. Happy Dollars. Who's happy? I'm going to keep the screen up until somebody says they're happy. What? Joan is happy. Joan, why are you so happy?
I am happy because a friend of mine who had a bad reaction to a change in medication is finally much, much better. That's $5 happiness for me.
Thank you, Joan. Who else is happy? Medi is happy. You can't use the graduation again. You've done that, Medi.
You're on mute. Okay.
Well, I am in Atlanta because of my granddaughter's graduation, but also to get together with my friends. And yesterday we had a get together in one of their houses, and many of my friends were able to make it, and we are all vaccinated. So we were feeling safe and comfortable with the reunion. And we played mahjong and I won $12.
Oh.
You have friends all over the world, don't you, Betty?
Well, yeah, over the years that I'm traveling, I can cite friends all over the world.
That's incredible.
I'm
And
sorry,
in
what
the
was the
US
amount, Betty?
Well, how much?
$12.
She's giving all her winnings to Rotary.
Well, I'm giving $10.
Oh,
10.
10.
Okay.
She's gonna
Yeah.
keep 2 for herself. All right, are there any other happy Rotarians out there? You know, you can be happy for $1 if something good has happened in your life. Well, I'm happy for $1. I'll be an example. I'm happy because we just had Mother's Day, and Jackie and I were at home by ourselves, and we celebrated her. We celebrated Mother's Day together. So that's $1 for me on behalf of Jackie, who is so cheap. She is never happy.
I'm happy.
You can't be happy for free, Jack.
Oh. All right, I'll give $1. I was bullied into giving $1, but I'm happy to give $1, a happy $1.
You have to have a reason.
I'm happy. I'm feeling good. I'm
Okay.
energetic. And,
There you go. That's
and
enough.
my son is having a little girl. His wife is having a little girl. So I'm staying up late at night trying to write a full list of possible names. I keep repeating my name over and over and over again.
You made Mark Clark laugh. Any other happy dollars? Okay, well, yes.
I'll contribute $5. I missed last week's meeting with getting some house repairs done. My great-granddaughter hit 5 months old just before last week's meeting, so I didn't get a chance to pipe up and throw in $5 for that, but 5 months old already. And sort of a sad happy dollars, my daughter's 50th birthday is coming up in another week. So that's a milestone. Her age bothers me more than my own age.
Yeah, yeah, I know.
Yeah. So Grandma Chris, that's my daughter, she will be 50 years old. So $5 for those 2 milestones.
That's great. Okay, so we'll wrap up. Oh no, Randy wants to get in on it.
I have 5 happy dollars. I'm just happy for the good doctor reports we get, and the fact that we don't have any more visits scheduled in the near future. So that's worth more than $5, but it's $5.
Yeah, and I'm happy for you too. I'm right on that coattail, Randy.
Good.
All righty. Well, we're pretty much on time. So what I'd like to do is introduce Karen Zamolsky to you. Karen is the executive director of Main Street, and that's about all I know about Karen. So Karen, when you before you start telling us about Main Street, we would really enjoy hearing more about you, you know, where you're from, how long you've been in the area, and then if you're sharing, are you sharing any screens with us?
Yes, I'm going to want to share a presentation. I put a quick one together just so I could remind myself of some of the things that we're doing.
Okay, I'm sharing the screen.
Great.
And if Tom Godwin behaves himself, he looks like he's asleep. You'll probably be able to get through. Okay. So Karen, welcome to Rotary.
Oh, thank you so much. Yes, I'm originally from Western New York, just outside of Buffalo. So happy to be down here in a little bit warmer weather, but Actually, my husband and I bought a condo over in Bay Creek back in 2005. So we had been coming back and forth here with our kids as they were young for many years now. So when our youngest graduated from high school, my husband said, let's try living down there. And he says, oh, and by the way, I think we should sell the house. And I was like, wow, we're not trying living down there. I guess we're moving. So we moved down here in 2017. I immediately decided with the animals I collected from my children as they each left the house that 2 dogs and a cat were not good in a condo. So we bought an old house in Cape Charles at 7 Mason, and we gutted it and redid it. Absolutely loved it, had a great time doing it, but just recently sold it. So we are now renting and deciding what our next move is, whether we're going to build a new one or try to find another one to do. But those are few and far between right now, in case anyone hasn't noticed. Cape Charles is a really hot commodity. So we might be sitting for a little bit. But anyway, right after I finished the house in 2018, going into 2019, I saw this advertisement for the Main Street position and thought, gosh, what a great time, because I came out of corporate America. I spent I think maybe 14 years at Kodak before I left there and joined the DuPont company in Wilmington, Delaware, and was their global brand manager for their proofing products. So I spent several years there before leaving to do a startup company with my husband, which we had really enjoyed, but sold it 3 years later because somebody came along who wanted to acquire us. So it just kind of one thing led to another. So I kind of stepped away from everything when we moved here so that I could concentrate on the house and was ready to take on the Main Street role. So really happy to have this position, and it definitely gives me something to do, maybe more than I bargained for. But would love to kind of give you an update. And if I could share my screen, am I able to?
Yes, go ahead. Let's see if it works.
Okay, let's see. Can you see it?
Not yet, but don't give up.
All right. Let me try it again.
You're coming on. You're there.
Good, we got it?
Yeah.
Oh, yay.
You can go full screen on us if you'd like.
All right, let's see. I gotta find it.
But if you don't, it's okay.
That's all right. If I can find it, I would love to. It's hidden it's kind of behind the, let's see.
Yeah.
It's kind of hidden behind different windows.
Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it.
Well, all right, we'll just go with it. So anyway, so I introduced myself. I just want to take a minute to talk about some of the accomplishments we had this past year, because believe it or not, during COVID, there was a lot going on with Main Street. And one of the biggest things was that we became a fully designated Main Street community. And I don't know how many people realize there are 30 of those now in Virginia. And this is the report that we just received in April from the Virginia Main Street community. And this is kind of an overview of what the Main Streets have accomplished. And I think you can see it for yourself. There's been 9 grants worth $215,000, which is one of the big bonuses and benefits of being a designated Main Street community. We now have the opportunity to apply for grants that are $25,000 and more through this Virginia Main Street designation, which we weren't able to do before, even as an affiliate. The max we could get from them was $7,000 at a time. So this is a big deal to us. Excuse me. So actually overall, Virginia Main Street has created 219 new jobs. They've had a total private investment of over 48 million. Excuse me. 30 or 52 new businesses have been created, lots of volunteer hours, which are super important, and several other different stats here that you can see. And I'm happy to share this if you'd like. So let's talk about some of the individual accomplishments that our Main Street here in Cape Charles has accomplished this past year. I'm sure many of you have heard about the COVID relief grant that we wrote a grant for relief for our Cape Charles businesses. We got an $845,115 to share with businesses. And when I say Cape Charles, I think there's a big misnomer there, because Cape Charles mail code covers not only Cape Charles proper, but it covers all the little towns up to about Eastville, from the bay across to the ocean and down to the Bay Bridge Tunnel. So Sheridan, Townsend, all of those towns are included in this grant. To date, we have already completed and helped 44 businesses. We still have 19 applications in process. 44 of the businesses that we have helped we've paid out $483,716, and we still have another $361,398 funds remaining. So what I'm hoping is that, if you know of a business in any of the areas under the mail code of Cape Charles, and that includes 5 zip codes, by the way. It's not just 23310, it's 23316, 23347, 23443, and 23313. So all of those zip codes are included. So if you know businesses in there that haven't yet applied, we would love to have them do so. Here, I'm gonna try to get this. Here we go, there we go. So let me I got those, we'll click right through this. All right, so some of the other accomplishments of 2020. We developed a brand new map. I don't know how many people have seen it, but it's a beautiful big map that's a fold out, and we have not only Cape Charles on one side, but we did the entire Eastern Shore on the other side. If you haven't gotten one, you can pick them up at our Main Street office or at many of the retailers in town. Last year, we celebrated 27 winners in the Best of Virginia Living Contest. And I don't know how many people understood that Cape Charles prior to this maybe had 1 or 2. And last year, all of a sudden it exploded. And I think a lot of that had to do with COVID, because so many people that own vacation homes here in Cape Charles actually moved into them. They came here with their families and settled in for the summer. So a lot of our restaurants were visited or got takeout from a lot of new individuals who actually own here. Now they may be renting, and they're again back out, but it really helped boost the visibility of Cape Charles and the wonderful things that are available here. Our Main Street program also, we wrote a grant and received $25,000 to purchase the new bathrooms that went into Cape Charles. If you know where Peach Street Books is, right across the street, next to Patrick Hand's building, that's where this, we call it the Silver Bullet, resides. Main Street also, during COVID, went out and purchased hand sanitizing units that we placed in the town up and down Mason Avenue, over in Central Park and the harbor. We also produced signage for COVID to help our businesses open safely. We purchased gift certificates for all of those people that helped keep Cape Charles running during COVID this past year. And that was done through a donation made by an anonymous donor, by the way. So we were able to hand out $25 gift certificates to people in public works, the police force, all those people that are working so hard to help us keep Cape Charles running. One of the things we also did this past year, we took advantage of the time to get some funds through some grants to purchase some more benches, some more planters that we put together for Strawberry Street Plaza, as well as Mason Avenue. If you haven't seen them, these are what they look like, the trash cans, etc. We did put some new benches up and down Mason, And we are working for some more of those this year for Strawberry Street. The other thing we do, I don't know if you're aware, but Cape Charles Main Street actually owns the love sign. We got the rights passed on to us from the original creator of the sign. And for that, we not only protect it, we insure it, and we repair it when it needs repairing. And of course, this past summer with so much extra activity, we lost our V, but a lot of the guests who visited Cape Charles came up with their own creative ways to fill in that V, if you can see. So we actually enjoyed that. I wondered if we shouldn't take out some letters every once in a while just to see what our visitors will do. During COVID, Cape Charles Main Street also arranged porch hour happy hours. So it was wonderful to see a lot of our neighbors safely through being able to either ride your golf cart around town or walk with your mask on and wave to neighbors that you might not have seen in a while. And we also did it to help our restaurants, because in the beginning, when we first shut down, as you all know, our restaurants and businesses lost a lot. And our restaurants were able to do takeout. So we decided if we could encourage people to purchase takeout meals and drinks, they could enjoy them on their porch and still visit with their neighbors along the way. So some of the activities we have planned coming forward from about now through this next year, because our fiscal year starts July 1 and runs till June 30th. So we're a little bit, in the middle of that right now, coming to the end of our 21 year. But we just completed an Easter egg hunt on Mason Avenue. I don't know how many people saw the Easter Bunny hopping up and down, but it was enjoyed by a lot of residents and children. And we also arranged the first annual sidewalk sale, which we hope, it was very well received. So we hope that will continue. Whoops, I just skipped back up. But we are getting ready to launch the new Cape Charles website in the end of this month. Now, one of the things Cape Charles has never really been able to encompass all of the things most of our Virginia Main Street towns have. And through a grant, we were able to get enough money to build this site. And within this site, there's also a microsite for Cape Charles Main Street. Now, with the new site, one of the big benefits it has is that we were able to do a digital map inside of this website. So all of our businesses have the opportunity to purchase ads, and with their ad, which they got on the map in print, they now also have on the website. So they will be able to have a pin on an electronic map. So when people visit and they scroll over our map on the website, our advertisers get pop-up windows where they're able to take that window and talk about their sales they're having, their menus, anything, events they're having. They can actually have those automatically populate right on the site when they upload them. So it's going to be a great tool. We also have an event calendar that whether you come in through the microsite through Main Street or through the Cape Charles site, you'll be able to add events there as well. So that will be a great benefit. This year, I don't know if you've heard yet, we actually had 34 winners in the Best of Virginia Living contest. So Cape Charles just continues to grow on everyone. So we had a lot of repeat winners and a few more this year. So we'll be getting ready to celebrate those sometime, hopefully end of June or early July. One of the projects that I'm getting ready to start is a historic walking tour. We received a grant to be able to do a walking tour that we plan to have available as a digital app on a phone. So if you have and download the app, which will be free, you'll be able to take a historic walking tour through Cape Charles. And the plan is to have that actually done with voiceover. So instead of having to read, when you get to each stop, you'll be able to click your app and actually hear about the history of that location. So we're really looking forward to that. We think it'll be a great addition to things to do in Cape Charles. We also this year plan to support Citizens for Central Park in Love Fest. We had Love Fest, I think everyone will remember, back in 2019. That was the first one for the 50th year anniversary of the Summer of Love. Last year, we were able to have it again, just a little bit differently, not as quite as many events and things during that time. But this year, we're planning to be able to open it up again, very similar to what we did in 2019. I do sit through a staff meeting every Monday morning with the town. And according to our town manager, they have been told that the governor is planning to open up Cape Charles or open up the state of Virginia. So we would open up Cape Charles sometime between mid and end of June. Still with masks, but everything would become fully open again. They're still waiting for confirmation, but that is the plan. So we have decided to move ahead with our plans for Love Fest, 4th of July, and any other events we have coming up. One of the things that we're thinking about for this summer and working on a plan for is Third Thursdays. And Third Thursdays is a concept that we really came up with, not so much for tourists and visitors, but more so for our residents. Because if you've tried to get into a restaurant during the summer, I think you know there's a really long wait in Cape Charles. Through Third Thursdays, we're planning to bring in a lot of different food trucks along the bayfront and have some music, have kind of an evening on Thursdays when you can wander and pick up food and enjoy the beach. Just something that makes it a little bit more fun and not have to wait so long for a restaurant. The other thing we're looking at for 2022, we had to cancel our Love Run last year, but we plan to bring that back in the spring. And actually, we're going to make it bigger. We're hoping to be able to partner with Bay Creek in extending it to not only a 5K, which will go through the town of Cape Charles, but also through Bay Creek as a 10K. By expanding it to a 10K, we can attract a lot more serious runners, and we're hoping it becomes a signature event for Cape Charles. And that helps us, and one of our big goals for Main Street is to extend our shoulder seasons. Because as you know, things seem to drop off in September and don't start again. It's dark until May. So again, having the Love Run in the spring and April, we'll be able to draw more people out earlier in the year. And again, with extending some of our other activities into the fall, we'll be able to stretch those visits and dollars coming into Cape Charles again through the fall. Main Street in Motion. I have to just spend a moment on this. This is our fundraising campaign, and Bill Stram, who heads that up, our organization committee for Cape Charles Main Street, is getting ready to kick that off around June 1st. Main Street in Motion, this will be our third year. The first year was 2019, and we did fairly well that year. 2019, it was pretty dismal. We got about half the dollars in that we did the year before. The issue with that, and why this year's is so important, all of the things that we have on the docket for improvements as far as design for our Strawberry Street Plaza, additional benches, planters, and some other improvements, we will not make with grants alone. All of these events require not only the grants, which we are applying for, we're applying for 4 new additional grants through Northampton County for our Festive Fridays, for Love Fest, etc. But we also need these fundraising campaigns to do well, because that allows us to do a lot more. So if you see Bill and you see it come in your mailbox, we just want you to be aware it's something that's sorely needed here for Cape Charles. So I didn't want to take up too much time, but if you have questions, I want you to know your volunteer support as the Rotary is extremely appreciated. I know the Rotary always helps us with our Festive Fridays, doing the luminaries. And again, we can't thank you enough for that. To date, we've had 64 or 6,460 hours donated to Main Street by volunteers like you, which equates to a pretty big number, as you can see, over $172,000. Those numbers are really important to us, because as we go for grants, especially through our Virginia Main Street Avenue, they consider those dollars in-kind dollars that will count towards us meeting a match goal. So again, very important to us. So again, thank you for helping us meet that goal. And anything I can answer, happy to.
Well, Karen, I think we have a number of intersections with your Main Street program. And I think Medi is the first to share with you what we've been doing and the opportunity I think you have. Medi,
Yes.
please go ahead.
Yeah. Well, I'm really excited about what you're doing because I think we can collaborate on some of these things that you have really started. As you know, we have started a project with the Rotary in terms of uncovering the history of African Americans in Cape Charles. And we would like to collaborate with you in terms of completing perhaps the maps and the walking tour, and include some of the places that we are trying to uncover the significance in the history of Cape Charles. So I think I'd like to discuss further with you how we could intersect in these projects that we are doing.
Well, the beauty of the app that I've kind of settled on is that we can do as many of these types of tours. We can do scavenger hunts. We can do a ton of things with this app. So we could actually do one that is specific to just that project.
Yeah, I'm really excited to take a look at that and see how we could incorporate that in our work.
Yeah, I think it would be great.
Karen, another project, and Bob Church, are you on line? I think you're muted, Bob.
I'm on the line. Go ahead.
Well, what I have in mind is your fire hydrant project. Share with Karen where we are with that with the town, and maybe she can help us get that moving as well.
We contacted I think Gina, and she said that the budget starts on July the 1st, and we really need to get that paint as soon as possible. We're ready to start painting. We any help that you could give us and nudging them along would help us.
What are we talking about?
Painting the fire hydrants.
Oh, okay. So what do you need?
We just need to paint. Basically, we need paint.
And who are you working with? Are you working with the town on this?
A Rotary. Yeah, we try to work with the town, yes, but the town said the budget was overdrawn last year, and they said the budget opened up again in July. They told us to get back to them in July, so any help that you would help us with get us along.
All right, so let me talk with John and see where that stands. And just see if they've got it into this year's budget, because I know they're just finishing it now. And if not, we'll see what we can do to see if we can help with that. Because where are they just, where are all the fire hydrants? Are they throughout town? I'm guessing.
They're all in the town of Cape Charles itself. We're not going outside the town limit.
Okay.
So Karen, if you could help nudge that along with John. John's going to be on in a couple of weeks on our program, so we can come at him from two sides. But I can't believe Cape Charles can't buy a few gallons of paint when we have willing workers to spruce up the fire hydrants.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so I'll just thank you once again, Karen, for. Oh, Jackie has a question.
Yeah, I just have a small question. You mentioned that there is over $361,000 remaining to disperse, and I'm curious as to whether or not there is a time limit within which that money has to be used, or once you get it, you have control over it forever.
Yes, we had 1 year from the date that we received the grant, and that was the end of September. So it has to be gone before September 30th. And as of that date, October 1, it's gone. So we still have plenty of time. I still have, like, I think I said about 19 applications in process. So we just keep plugging forward and we keep trying to spread the word, and we've had a lot of help. I have to say, I don't know how many of you know Paul Grossman, but
Yep.
Paul personally, to help us out, got in his car. He drove up and down 13. He walked in and out of businesses, and he sent over 220 letters out personally and put stamps on them and went to the mailbox and mailed them out. He actually FOIA'd all the addresses and names of every business in the 5 zip codes that we're covering. And he covered, if he didn't cover them by walking in, he covered them by a mail.
Yeah, that was a tremendous job Paul did. And I think without Paul's effort, the money might have gone back.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. It was a huge help. I mean, the businesses in town, obviously they came forth pretty quickly, but it's the smaller ones outside of here. I mean, we took out ads in the Eastern Shore Post. We did constant contact reach outs. We did, we did second ads. We did a pay it forward challenge with the people who got the grants, and we challenged them to find at least one other business that had not yet applied and encourage them to apply and help them if needed.
Well, once again, Karen, thank you. And as you know, Joan has a question for you.
I do. Carrie, I didn't know that Main Street was outside of the town of Cape Charles specifically. So I'm curious on, outside of these grants, what types of projects have you done for the other towns, Eastville, Cheriton?
We don't do any projects outside of Cape Charles. Cape Charles Main Street, strictly a Cape Charles, Virginia Main Street program. And we have a designated area for our projects. I think what might confuse people is people think that the town of Cape Charles just puts money into Main Street, but it's not free. The money we get from the town, and it decreases every year that we've been in business here. We perform marketing projects for the town. So we function as their marketing arm, but also as Cape Charles Main Street. So we wrote the grant, which we put through for the town of Cape Charles. So we're managing it because the town didn't have the resources to manage it. So they couldn't have applied for it had we not taken it on. So we took it on kind of as the marketing arm for Cape Charles. Because we decided to devote we thought it was important enough to all of our Main Street businesses that we needed to do it. And with that, because of the amount of money we requested, we promised the state that if we could get that amount of money, we would be sure to cover areas outside of Cape Charles. So that was kind of a one-off deal.
So just to be clear, Cape Charles Main Street, outside of this specific grant, focuses completely on Cape Charles Main Street.
Absolutely. That's our mission. Our mission, and the Virginia Main Street, or the National Main Street Program, it's all about preservation of historic towns. And each town has to basically outline what is the historic boundaries that you're going to renovate and restore and keep historic. So we all have to have a very defined area, which we do.
Is that defined area documented somewhere?
Yes, it is.
Can you share that?
I certainly can. I'm looking at it right on my wall right now. So happy to.
I think those geographies are defined as neighborhoods or communities. They aren't actually towns. And they don't really meet the definition of a town.
Right. Well, it's within the town. And when I'm looking at this, basically, it is from out near the town limits where the brewery is. Yeah. It travels down Stone Road. It kind of curves up and around the beer place, Wendell's distributing,
Oh, yeah.
comes back because it includes everything then down Randolph to Bay, around and all down Mason. So it's the streets in between Mason and Randolph, your Pine, Nectarine, Strawberry. It's those cross streets and Mason Avenue. Then it goes into the harbor. It kind of curves around the harbor. It includes that. And because Bay Creek and the Oyster Farm have a big effect on our employment in town, they also participate.
And what about the coach house?
Yeah, they're part of Bay Creek.
So you're talking the entire Bay Creek community, not just the, what used to be Aqua.
Correct.
Okay.
So Bay Creek community, they're a big contributor to Main Street. And so they participate in the Main Street activities and support it. Yes.
Thank you.
Well, that's tremendous, Karen, and every once in a while we have a speaker that we know we want back for an update. So just keep yourself doing what you're doing, and we'd like you to come back and give us an update on things, because I'm sure you'll have more to share with us. Betty, you have a final question for Karen?
Yeah, well, I just want to remind the members of the Invisible History Committee that we're having a meeting after this meeting from 1 to 2. So if they would please remain.
Oh, okay. Thank you, Maddie. All right. Well, let me, if you would stop sharing, I'm going to share, Karen.
All right, there you go.
I think I'm going to share. You know, it's always a,
You got it, Bill.
now I have it. With regard to what we think, say, and do, 1, is it the truth? 2, is it fair to all concerned? 3, will it build good friendships and better friendships? Will it be beneficial to all concerned? And Stanley, I totally screwed that up. So number 5.
Number 5 is, will we continue to have fun?
Yes, we will.
All
Take
right.
care, everyone, and stay on if you're with the Invisible History Project.
Yeah, we will
Thank
start
you.
right away.
Thanks for the invite, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you, Karen.
Okay, I'm going to stop recording the meeting.